Sorceress Supreme. Versatility is a magic user's middle name. One of my favorite sorcerers of all time. Hopefully she's in live action soon. Zatanna can literally cast powerful spells and incantations by describing their efforts in reverse word speech. She's a magician in every continuity, no matter if it's pre-crisis, post-crisis, or rebirth. Most folks assume just because you're a magician, you only rely on your magic. She does have martial arts on top of all this. Young age, they even state your training will be more than just magic, saying they might need to rely on her fists from time to time. And her brain. This is during a flashback where she's like in her reaction or reflexes to dodge these attacks here. She physically dodges these attacks, takes out these bad guys by throwing stuff at them. She even climbed down a mountain at just a little girl. Training session. Wait, she's physically taking these people out with like hand-to-hand attacks, physically close to passing out while doing so, showing her accuracy throwing this sword. Evidently has a red belt in Martian Kung Fu. One can argue she's enhancing her physicals with her magic, but look, she seems strong enough to pick up a grown behind man with one arm. You know, physicals in DC, these people without no physical enhancements be strong as heck. Literally picked up John Constantine and threw him that far. In Rebirth New 52 stuff, she uses kicks, does grapple hold, not afraid to straight up punch you. More proof she can fight alongside Catwoman. They have a good time beating up this bar full of guys and beating the snot out of them. Zatanna not once using magic at all, just straight up hand to hand. Uses her physicals and sword play here, this head off. She can change her clothes and teleport on the spot. Let's actually get on her magic now after all that physical stuff, showing that she's not a physical slouch either. She can literally make the ropes bind you by literally stating backwards, ropes bind them. She literally states return their human form by saying it backwards, and they can return to their original form via magic. Look into your memories. This occasion can blast you with ice, can transmute you into a rabbit, can switch positions with you via teleportation swapping, to be able to make things float, magic, or basically telekinesis. Another occasion of restoring your true form, like turning you back to human, can instantly summon her outfit. In this occasion, not even using backward spells. Blast power. After I'm done with you, she can just put you back in her hat. If she does get hit, guess what? She can use magic to heal herself, then straight up blast you again. Can turn you into stone, can seal you in glass, and can even shrink you. If you're a fire breather, she can turn your breath into water. Talking about countering. Of course, she can make magical shields and return it at you, then crush you, stone, telekinesis-wise, freezes you in place. You might as well say she has matter manipulation, like how she repaired her own apartment here. I love how she's not afraid to just straight up use her hand-to-hand combat and then just make tables fly. Can turn you into gold, set someone's hands on fire, turns guns into trumpets, and cars into butterflies, turns a chair into a prison, can blind you with her flare, and no, she's not a glass cannon, can't just stalk her, for example. Many a stalker and paparazzi have jumped the fence only to land 100 miles away. It's like some type of spell that makes you automatically go miles away if you try to go on her property. Even stated other pests have tried to gain entry either by violence or magic. Idiots can later be found waiting out of San Francisco Bay with humiliating knowledge that they have spent the previous hour as a mollusk. So you ain't just gonna go get the jump on her and pull up at her mansion. Like, nah. She straight up said, work, clothes, take me to the one who killed them. She can literally say, I need to find out a mystery, and clothes, take me to the one that killed them. Like, what the heck? She simply said, freeze time, and time froze, guys. And if you bind her hands and gag her mouth to where she can't speak her spells, she can just use sign language and do the spells. I swear, if I was a magic user, I would be the freshest thing walking. Can just give people disguises and crap. Like, she can magically drive stuff too. See the hands. She can touch ghosts. Every magic person has astral projection where she can go in spirit mode, basically, like Dr. Strange. Can summon her father's soul for advice. Not only can she time freeze, but she can actually time travel. Massachusetts, 1692. Can mind wipe you. Bullets don't work against her. Turn them into paper airplanes. Can turn invisible. Put you to sleep. She can summon her own winged horse. She tricked a ghost into possessing an empty shell before. There's a mansion full of magical artifacts. A giant library full of magical books. She even has ointment that can heal wounds. Magical props that can stop her bleeding. Her magical blast power is good enough to hold Batman in place. Do almighty pushes like on Constantine. Magic umbrella. Turn the whole team invisible. Become invisible. Her raw magic power can freeze giants like this in place. She can just straight full-blown blast. And she can increase these blasts by simply saying, spells be stronger. Turned Hawkman's wings into lead. Literally chained up Aquaman. She can literally say, open up the ground, and the ground opens up. Zatanna, Power Girl, Superman is here. Somebody that has her magic says, get Rocky. And you know what happens? They literally got Rocky. She can really affect Kryptonians with her magic, including herself, and she got Rocky. Beings that have the same power as her can make Sasquatches attack and stuff like that. She was fighting somebody that had her spells in a magical duel, she literally puts him in a straitjacket, duct tape over her mouth so she can't say the spell. This is crazy. This kind of proves on what Zatanna can do. The fact this dude is able to literally summon hell on the spot. Another element she can use like lightning. Matter of fact, she shoots lightning without words in this occasion. When somebody possesses Zatanna, they talk about how much raw power this woman commands. I don't think she's tapped into more than a fraction of her full potential, but of course Zatanna's only been at this for a few years, saying she has a lot of room for improvement, and she has flame manipulation with blast power too. Her blast power's up there with Green Lanterns. Dead Man was going through a crisis here. She restores his mind and body. She literally said mind, heal, body, reform, and that's all it takes for her to do that. These living enchantments, she literally dispels it by saying, dispels unravel enchantments. She doesn't want to be disturbed. She has protection wards that can make you splat implied here, but in this occasion, she made him an exception to her protection ward. She can stop you in place, like I already showed. Her father has taught her a whole bunch of meditation techniques. Oh yeah, her father was a magician as well. Another occasion of her blast power using lightning, flame projection, prison of stone. If you get trapped in roots, she can literally say roots be gone. Roots that are strong enough to contain swamp things, she's powerful enough to release some of these same roots. Every element, even ice, try to tell you, she literally states water to ice. She blasted like Hawkman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Frankenstein with her blast by saying everybody get out of here. Can literally make constructs to fly along with people flying with her on top of a disc. Has enough blast power to cause discomfort to a son of Trigon. Trigon is a cosmic being tier, so this is another powerhouse tier feat for Zatanna. She's one of the people that can open magically sealed chests. She did blast through John Constantine's shield, showing she's up there with the heavier hitter magic people too. She can sense things really well thanks to her magical nature, like sensing these ghosts that are not supposed to be visible to the human eye. You can't really fool her, like for a fact she knows that these more mere thought forms, individual projections of a mind so vast, so complex. She felt the rupture in the time stream. They can do some CSI stuff or to track the person that did the spell. She deduces that the Phantom Stranger was impaled by the Spear of Destiny. She can literally turn lesser beings into a worm. It's dangerous when people possess her body because she can do crazy stuff like turn spirit forms into stone or turn vampires into dust. Maneuverability, she can just literally walk on the air. With the aid of a magical artifact, ancient rituals, she is able to permanently undo Alec transformation as Swamp Thing. They even state it's not the usual reverse speak, so they imply that the reverse speak wouldn't be enough to permanently just take Swamp Thing's transformation away, but in a language that has already ancient when humanity first crawled up from mud, the language of the old gods, the forgotten gods. He feels the green pulling away from him. This did exhaust her though. Vampires are nothing to her, like blasting their heads off, blast these huge worms away, constructs of stuff, like how she can make a literal energy sword and shield to fight off these giant stuff. One of my favorite things is melee combat. There was like these whole bunch of time gremlins that was kind of overwhelming. The Justice League Dark, but she's got blast power. She was kind of amped beyond normal though, increased her abilities 1,000-fold. She used this temporary power to destroy these gremlins in epic proportion. Taking out them time gremlins was important because if those ruptures aren't healed, time itself will collapse. She got defense like shielding herself from Atlantean gunfire. This magical stasis for protection, blocks blasts from Stargirl staff. Like other magicians, she can summon things out of completely nowhere in the heat of battle, like summoning these birds or banishing things like Begone Bees. Can literally summon chains to bind you out of the blue. The stereotypical summon bunny out of the hat demanded this demon to appear in front of her. She summons the Justice League Dark while in between dimensions, but based on the fact of where they are, it could actually cause them to die or cease to exist. So yeah, she had to send them back. Summons the Nightmare Nurse on the heat of battle too. This is one occasion of there are limits to her spells, I would say. Like she told this one vampire to drop dead, it just froze in his tracks. For a being that's resistant to magic, she can't honestly just do this to Lobo or some powerful being that's resistant to magic and say drop dead. It won't necessarily work, but it does stop him in his tracks though. She literally was able to merge her consciousness with the House of Mystery. Like imagine doing the fusion technique with a sentient house. You can stabilize a hole in the fabric of space and time. Since we know her main attribute is magic, her physical strength ain't gonna be crazy, but her magical blast power is crazy. She simply states, give us the energy we need, and she was able to generate solar energy, years worth of sunlight or solar energy in a single second she had generated. With her magic, she could just blast with earth-shattering force in a second's notice. This is at least 53 quadrillion megatons of force, the minimum power to destroy the earth, basically. More proof she's in the heavier hitters thanks to her magic. She literally fought Mary Marvel, a Shazam family member or Captain Marvel family member who is a Superman level being. This didn't stop Zatanna from competing with beings on this level consecutively. Her spells are mighty enough to freeze a team buster like Despero in place, simply saying stop. literally states, League, wake up. She literally freed the Justice League from his influence while doing so. She even took on Lobo, a Superman tier being. She literally said bleed, and he bled. In theory, couldn't Zatanna cast a magical spell on herself backwards saying, make myself as durable as Lobo or something? Or, it's just, what's the limits of these abilities? Even though it's clear she has limits, but what are they? Completely handling Lobo, y'all. Tell me this isn't impressive. Her shields can withstand blows from Mary Marvel, blasted through a barrier that even the Phantom Stranger supposedly couldn't get past. There was this feat I showed you earlier, I didn't give it enough credit. When all these powerhouses were brainwashed or bloodlusted by Pandora's box, Zatanna still has enough blast power to knock them away even though they was going nuts. She still could do that with her level of blast power, even restraining some in the process. To further show her power, that she's in the powerhouse ranges, even in new comics, old comics, it doesn't matter. She's always in that level. Even taking a full-blown punch from Wonder Woman, might I add. She even stated at the peak of her rage, she could blast apart the entire universe. According to the statements right here, this may sound like an exaggeration, but when you think about other magicians in DC, like Dr. Fate, and in my Dr. Fate video, he does crazy stuff like holding together collapsing universes, so this doesn't really sound like the far-fetched because she's a top-tier magician in DC Comics as well. In newer stuff, she can still use lightning, by the way. Lightning surge. Lightning again, and have a fit of rage of blast power like that without even speaking no backward stuff, just straight on the spot. Looks like hundreds and hundreds of tons just flying in the air. You can just tell she has blast power by what she does to these creatures. Multiple creatures just producing all this energy. She held back spirits here, recent stuff. Notice how she blasts 2 vampires at once. Batwoman, you need healing, here you go. When Barry and Wally were messing up stuff with the Speed Force, it seemed to be disturbing the magical forces of the universe, I guess. On some gravity manipulation, talking about some get heavy. Bruh. Cause these possessed dolls to break. She told Batman she could turn him into a pile of snakes. On some probability stuff, making robots malfunction randomly. She controls a big chunk of the earth, like as she does here, drags them under. Bound this foul creature in stone and dirt, and that's what it did. She can make your weapons misfire, like charging cards with energy and make them blow up on impact. Zatanna on her Gambit swag. First you charge the card, then you blow it up. She knows other magic other than her backwards stuff. Like she has rune magic skills, but she just said it's a little rusty. She does this to project an image of the upside down man. Simply remove your mouth. Other beings in the universe that are powerful acknowledge her as an impressive weapon. She can unlock stuff by simply saying unlock. Usually magical artifacts are bonded to certain people, but she can trick the bind of an enchanted object to where she can work for herself to use this sword. Summoning is always something magic people do. No matter what form of media you decide to watch, they always summon these things. She's strong enough to keep beings like Solomon Grundy in a mangled force field, literally busted up in this force field. She can summon beings or even banish beings or demons. Children of the grave be gone, can straight up bind you in energy like that, but this one ended up escaping. She forces a weaponized grimoire to reveal the incantation and then banishes the demons herself. However, there are indeed limits to her power because she cannot hurt Dr. Manhattan, so it shows there's still limits to her. She doesn't mind using furniture as weapons. One can even argue insane telekinesis. How in the heavens can you underestimate her when she can lift like an entire city if she wants to, basically? This much rock. I love telekinesis. Being able to move things with your mind like the Force is epic. Hey, she can even get a lot done like using brooms in this occasion. She's had blasts that can split the horror apart. Literally the horror gets split apart. Like, yeah, blasting these vampires back. With a simple word, she can freeze time around the school. She can simply say power return to me. Standard wizard stuff using crystal balls. She's witnessing different events that's happening all over the world. Considering that characters like Dr. Fate exist, Batman has listed her as one of the most powerful and learned sorcerers on the entire planet. She even claims she can get out of a straitjacket underwater in kindergarten when it comes to her skills. Zatanna has had her fair share in big events going up against cosmic being type characters, like beings that are above time and space themselves, above the universe. Beings like the Upside Down, who has even fought Wonder Woman that Hecate put together. Look at this crazy buffed up Wonder Woman form this is. We even got powerful folks in here like Dr. Fate in the building. It's not an instant win. This wielder of the Dr. Fate mask. Then Kent comes back. They even state they would not be able to hold Upside Down Man for long. On this occasion, working together, it's a big behind blast. Then that's when Zatanna is left standing. Then she does something crazy talking about our thoughts are one as our actions. Then does like the fusion technique with the Upside Down Man. Like, this is disturbing. Fused with this cosmic being. He's been beginning to take over her. She starts fighting back while inside of him, showing her ridiculous willpower. They even state it must be Z. That's when she does the impossible and pretty much breaks free Hecate. They work together. With them all working together, they didn't do this all alone, though. It's a team effort with this cosmic being. Remember that Hecate exists in the spirit of the god, which is outside the multiverse. Beneath the spirit of God, there was a darker other place tied to darker other multiverse. She's the one that formed formed from the light, he formed from the darkness, upside down, staring at her. Opposites of each other, Hecate and Upside Down Man, to let you know how strong she is. And Wonder Woman was apt by Hecate, along with Zatanna helping. So you get the idea. She uses crossbows when she feels like it as well. More proof of her power is in this occasion fighting this guy named Zor, a very powerful being in all sense of the imagination. In this fight against this very powerful being, you can clearly see him getting larger. Zatanna literally states, become what Zor becomes and be my will in battle. Using this container, one can say this magic artifact gave her a power up. Man, let me rewind right quick to help you understand all this confusion. Zatanna wanted a man, right? So she wanted to summon the man of her dreams. Like she literally did that because she was on some lonely stuff. Due to her summoning this being, he attacks in many shapes. But fortunately, she was still able to somehow subdue this entity in a jar. Without her even knowing it, he actually came in handy for the later battle to come against a higher tier being. She stated, my ideal man is revealed as a mindless elemental midget with the power to assume any form I tell him to. This guy, the name of him, was summoned just because she was trying to summon the man of her dreams. Funny, right? So now you guys know what's going on. He gets bigger. She gets bigger. Guys, look how big they are. They're getting like the size of cities, yo. They're bigger than satellite, like literally bigger than satellite. While they're fighting one another, look how big they are versus the size of planets. Pits comets like a child throwing stones. Goes as far as saying he has become the universe to contain them. The battlefield just keeps getting distorted based on these comic panels. So at the end of the day, she still got the job done against Zor. You can tell they was on some universal stakes. They talking about we patch, and after she had did her job at taking Zor out, they basically said we make sure the fabric of the universe is kept in good repair. All of this power, thanks to her accidentally summoning an extra prop or a magical prop, basically, and being able to fuse with this prop to do the fusion technique and become cosmic tier kinda-ish. This being that Zatanna fought is the same being that has fought Spectre, a multiversal higher dimensional being, guys. Where is this being / artifact now? I mean, she had artifacts like this at her disposal that gave her this type of power to be able to fight somebody that's on that Spectre tier. She needs to keep this, but the whereabouts of this is unknown. DC Comics writers probably done forgot about this artifact anyway. Different writers probably forgot. I'll see you guys later though. Respect Zatanna. She's a magical powerhouse up there with Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate has more occasions or more showings than her, I would say though. She shouldn't be too far behind magically though. I mean, it just only makes sense, right? Especially with them occasions with Upside Down Man and stuff. Or those occasions with Hecate Wonder Woman or Katie in general. I'll see you guys later though. Thanks everyone that has donated to the channel. Appreciate it a lot.